Hello, welcome. It's Neil Dugan here, and it's day 20 of the Great Depression Challenge, where we've got 30 videos with the entire story about how to turn depression and anxiety completely on its head and take it from a cycle of absolute suffering that you've been experiencing and take yourself into a situation where you're actually achieving a gateway into enlightenment. So it's a very exciting journey, and I'm really pleased to be here with you to talk about it. So today we're actually going to we're going to zero in on each of these phases, these renewed phases in terms of the cycle. So we're no longer actually dealing with this downward depression anxiety cycle, this downward spiral. We're actually talking about an upward spiral, a spiral of awakening and enlightenment. So we're going to start with the second stage in our spiral. So as you are at the moment, you would be experiencing depression in this place, but of course with this new spiral, with this upward spiral that we're working with, you're going to be experiencing peace. Now going with the peace will be silence and grace. So this is the experience of grace. Grace is something that comes from the divine, and you'll be experiencing this actually within yourself. The other thing to be aware of in this phase of the cycle is that you're predominantly going to be operating from the practical mind. So this is the practical brain of your body. It's situated in the spine up into the top of the brainstem, and it handles all of the practical functions. And what it also does in the cycle is that it acts as the part which questions the proposals that are made during the earlier phase. Now, you may well ask why I've jumped into the second step of the cycle, and the reason I've gone into the second step is this is the expression of the depression anxiety cycle that I had writ large. This was far and away the strongest and most dominant aspect of the cycle for me, and so I want to start here. I want to start here because this is the authentic place of my journey. This is the suffering that I was really experiencing, and how I actually managed to formulate these structures and these techniques to get out of the depression anxiety cycle was to actually begin here. So this is where I began. So I'm not going to pretend that it's very easy to do this kind of stuff completely on your own, and obviously I'm here, and people that you know are here to actually provide support as well, and there's lots and lots of support available in this process. However, I promised you at the beginning of this 30 video series that I was going to tell you how you could do this completely on your own. So, good to my word, I'm going to explain it to you. So, what I actually did was that I focused on silence. So, when I felt the sadness, when I felt the depletion, when I felt all of the crushing sense of absolute disappointment, the sense of feelings around suicide, all of these types of things, when I felt as though I couldn't possibly get any lower, I remembered some things from my childhood, and these things were relating to the power of silence and the way in which silence actually invokes the divine. So I began a practice of, when I was at my deepest depletion, I would shut down all of the negative talk, so all of the negative talk that was going on, and hold a silence, and I would hold that silence in my heart. So the process for me was to go into my heart, do some breathing, go into my heart, remember the divine in my heart, and go silent. Be silent, just absolutely silent, absolutely without any triggering of emotions, without any triggering of belief systems, without any triggering of memories, anything like that. I just work with silence. Now, I continued doing this for many years, to the point where I depleted completely the energy of depression. I depleted out of myself this energy which was actually drawing me into depression. So that's how I went about it single-handedly on my own, doing that. Now, that's a heroic effort to actually do that. And of course, with the coaching work that we're doing, and the modern healing techniques that not only I have developed myself, but lots of other people who are working with energy medicine have developed as well. There is ample opportunity for you to get additional support to allow yourself to actually come into this place of peace, which has silence and allows the experience of the divine grace to actually come into you, because that's what happened to me. I worked with the silence. Eventually the peace arrived, and I was actually able to be peaceful within myself. And next thing you know, the divine grace arrived and delivered me all kinds of opportunities that actually sprang out of that. Okay, so just to summarize all of this, we're dealing with a state of peace in this upward spiral. It's found from a place of silence. We're allowing grace to come into us, so we're allowing this divine grace to actually enter. The major operating aspect of our being is the practical mind, or what I call the moving center. The role that is being played here in this phase is one of either being passive to the initiated concept or idea or proposal that's being made earlier, or alternatively it's questioning it. So it's denying, it's checking the practicality of it. It's really looking for the practicality of the idea. And lastly, it's driven by an emotion of courage. Now, courage isn't a normal emotion that people talk about, but courage is the other side of the coin to fear, and fear is what sits underneath depression. So we have a dominant, an absolutely dominant process around courageousness. So this is the dominant emotion there. And of course, when you are courageous and you are sitting in the world where you have all of these other relationships going on, then it becomes very selfless. It also has the potential to be very benevolent as well. So you can come from a place where you are acting entirely for the benefit of those around you. And this is a benevolent approach. So it's either going to be selfless or it's going to be benevolent. So that's literally the cycle and how it worked for me. And as I say, with the coaching and the healing work that we do, I can make it 10 times or maybe 100 times easier for you than it was for me. And there's a definite way into doing this. And you end up in a place where all of the energy around, all that depleting energy around depression is absent from your life. And in its place you have peace, absolute sense of peace within yourself. You're allowing yourself to experience this grace to come in, which is this wonderful divine present. And all in all, it's a good thing. So I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow, where we will start at the first phase. We're going to talk about the actual first phase in the cycle, and then we'll jump over this one that we're on today, the second phase, in our quest to find our way through to being awake and or awakening on the path to enlightenment. So hope you've enjoyed this. Please like and share this as much as you possibly can, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.